ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we are back with another beautiful, and I do mean beautiful opportunity to get better. We are going to break down the open of the week. It is the beginning of the weekly candle. We had some nice action overnight. Okay, and let us get into it. Let's go here. Wow, my chart looks a little crazy here. We'll give folks a second to join. While you guys join, I am going to reorganize my desk. Crazy. A little bit crazy, guys. Everything that's going on. Say what's up once you arrive in the chat. Say hello. Can you guys hear me okay if I'm this far back? I think you can hear me. I have my mic adjusted outward a little bit. Got an echo reverb going on. Let's see. Echo reverb. You like hear me twice? Is that better? Is it still echoing? How am I looking? I accidentally closed Streamlabs. That is not ideal. By the way, closing Streamlabs, better. Cool. All right, yeah, I got to check the multi-track output on this thing. Have not done that at all. Can you hear me okay if I have the mic this far away? All right, let's do some analysis. Will that get sorted out? Cool. All right. We are back. Back at it. Back at it again. So yesterday's weekly had a nice, beautiful top wick higher. Okay. We had a perfect measured move touch on ES. Okay. Measured move higher on ES is still above us. Or sorry, on measured move higher on NQ is still above us. Okay. At 25,335. You can see on ES after we did that measured move touch, the market came off on Friday, right? So again, that's why I always use ES as the leader, NQ as the follower. The question that we're going to ask ourselves today, just like we do every day, is what liquidity matters and how do we get there? Those are the two most important questions that we ask ourselves every single day in the market. So what I want to do here is just on the daily, we'll go down to the daily. The weekly's a little high. We'll get rid of our session volume profile on both charts, and we want to look to see what is happening. So there's a block of liquidity lower, 67, 16, 75. We've got these blocks here. We might do another big bottom wick, right, similar to these wicks here, down to this shelf, 67.19. Okay, I'm going to move my downside target 1 up to here. Not a prior day high, obviously. That target has since been smoked. We've got prior day lows down here. All right, overnight low. Let's look at target 1 on NQ. If we do a trend line test, this eyeballing that. It's probably going to be around here. Okay, I'll draw this trend line for you guys. Wow, I'm good. So confluence with this trend line down here, traversing this node, that'll give me a target 1. Target 2, if we break, if we crack through this, I do think we'll still traverse this entire liquidity block, and we'll come down way lower. Okay, so don't need to adjust those targets too much. Measure move higher still up here. We'll probably crack that. We have the hot December target above 26,571, still above us. Okay, and on ES, our upside target, oh, I didn't draw one. So let me do a upside target on ES here really quickly. We'll go to the weekly. All right, so measured move on the weekly. We're gonna have to go to the monthly, I think. This is a tough one. This is actually where we should start to consolidate on ES, it looks like. We don't really have a solid wave to measure to on ES outside of this consolidation. We've done a staircase. This is what I'm looking at, guys. So, I mean, we should be going sideways right here according to ES. Which tells me this week, yeah, we need to be a little patient maybe. I'm gonna wait for a little bit of confirmation. We do have this, again, we're still inside on the weekly on ES. Good morning, take a risk, CHK, welcome back. We just need to be a little careful this week, I believe. Kirthana, good morning. Everything over on the 15th. Thanks. Thanks for holding it down in the main studio. You are. So what I want to see, and obviously we're coming off here in the morning, maybe not if you're not looking at the lowers yet. Okay, we'll go to the 1 hour. Okay, we've got the 4 hour closing here in 9 minutes, but we'll let that close. I closed a little long that I took, a little scalp account, have some little top step accounts I've been trading here and there. You can see that on my Instagram story, but I had a perfect close on that, basically closed that at 8 a.m. I often close trades, right? If you get into a trade around 6 a.m., 8 a.m. is a good time to close it. The market tends to make a pivot coming into the open. Okay, so did that pre-open close of that trade, and what we want to see here now is, damn, I really need to get a better chair over here. I've got a nice chair at my home studio, but this one is not it. What I want to see is, and we had a nice bounce off of this shelf here. So VAL was retested, end of this auction. We have the previous day POC, just got retested on ES. Let's see if this low holds. If this low holds, right, POC is already shifted higher, then we're going to have a immediate continuation follow on higher for really the rest of the day. We had a very bullish morning. If not, again, overnight low is going to be here. There's our overnight low to retest. Prior day low obviously is here. Okay. Those would be your other options for entries. Mondays, again, aren't really days I'm too interested in overall as a intraday speculator, not counting swing trades. No tier 1 news today or tomorrow, at least in terms of US. We have FOMC meeting minutes on Wednesday. So that is the day, oh boy, to look out for. Where's my phone at? Actually need this. Need to order some food. I am hungry. Oh, my boy's calling me. Yo.
Yo, you
Yeah, I'm in here now. I'm streaming. What you got?
Somebody deadbolted the door, so it's like it can't be opened from the outside, even with the code.
Deadbolted the door. Oh, I'll come out. That was probably the neighbor. I got you.
Okay.
I bet. Or actually, the gate's open.
Is it? Let me see.
Yeah, it should be open.
Oh, let's see. Oh, that was deceiving. I saw the lock on it.
Yeah, same thing.
All right.
All right, bro. There's. Whew. Doing a live stream and building a business. Good morning, Boyka. Y'all really, good morning. JP, good morning. How long it normally takes you to pass a 50K account? Good question. Maybe I'll trade one on stream one day. I can snag some. Not that long. If you trade my system, which is the VPE, right? Volume profile edges, you could realistically pass a 50K account in like 1 to 2 sessions. The thing is, those sessions aren't going to be back to back. Okay, so if you wait for really good setups, you should only be taking at most three trades a day. At most. Which means some days you're not going to take any trades. What a lot of prop traders struggle with, due to all the hype and the buzz and the way that people market, right? If you look at the biggest like people on YouTube in terms of prop trading, they really make it seem like there's always something to do. I'm not doing anything right now, right? I'm watching the market. I'm waiting for it to get to any of these levels. You just have to be patient. But there's no reason why. I mean, if you trade, even if you're trading like, you know, if you look at my Instagram story, Top Step account is a 50K account, sim funded account that I just trade. Literally is like a gas money account. I made $900 on a few accounts. Okay. You know, you do that a few times a month, you're making a couple grand per account. Like you will easily pass any prop firm, guys, if you're patient. Like, you don't have to use my system. Fuck my system. Okay, any system. The problem that you guys have is you overtrade. Some of you are probably on your 7th trade today. Okay, and it's not even 10 a.m., which is just objectively bad. Like, you're objectively bad, and you keep doing bad things. So, not to say that to you, but I went on a little tangent there. Nonetheless, it's really easy to pass a 50K account. It's really, really easy, especially when the VIX is this high. There's a lot of opportunity, okay? If you would have took the long that I took, you would have been up. You would have been halfway to passing. You could take a short. You know, if I would have reversed short, I would have made a few more bucks, but I had to come open my business. I own America's #1 content studio, by the way, right down here in Miami, Florida. We're building out our new headquarters. That's what I do with my trading money. I've been trading for about 10 years, for those of you who don't know that. Well before YouTube and props and all of that got really popular. I've been trading for a very long time, which is why I am very patient. It's really hard to get me to FOMO into anything. I literally do not care. If someone texts me, yo, dude, I made 300K today. The only thing I'm going to say is congratulations. That's very exciting, because that's how I feel. Like, I don't have FOMO. I don't get jealous when my friends make money in trades that I didn't catch or see. Like, because I know it goes both ways. I know I'll get trades that they won't see, and you know, the only thing I'm interested in is teaching and sharing and building people up and building community and making a shit ton of money on my terms. Top of the morning, Conquistador. What is good? Welcome back. Today's stream might be abbreviated, though. I know a lot of them have been, because I've got some stuff to do. I've got 2 scissor lifts getting delivered. We're going to build a truss today. So, a lot going on. We have one of these days, I will show you guys. I'll do a live stream using my little DJI, and we'll do a tour. You guys want to see a tour? If you want to see a tour, put tour in the chat. I'll show you guys the compound, what we got going on, getting built over here. So we're coming down to prior day POC again. Okay, prior day low down here. In the uptrend, remember, prior day VAL has been a great place to long in this uptrend. Okay, right now you can see that we're still inside on ES weekly. Okay, we have not engulfed the prior week. On NQ, that's not the case. Okay, we put in a new high at the end. NQ still showing bullishness. Obviously, the weighting of these indices is a little bit different. I want to see, okay, both of these test a major liquidity area today. Okay, they could grind up, which is fine. I guarantee you, even if they do grind up, with FOMC being on Wednesday, it is going to reclaim some of this imbalance lower. It's not going to just rip up from here. That would be my bet. Maybe I'm wrong, which is totally fine, honestly. It only matters if you're right when you have money on. That's another thing to remember for those of you who are new here. You can be an analysis demon. You can be like, look what I said on Twitter. Look what I said on Reddit. Did you take the trade? You could be wrong as hell 80% of the time. You only need to be right when you're in the game, okay? And there are tons of people as well on the internet who are right pretty often, but they can't execute at all, okay? They're great at doing call-outs, and that's fine, okay? That's totally fine. Those people are great at working at hedge funds and organizations where other people can take what they say and actually apply it. But as individual traders, you are in the application division. You are the executor. Got a 70% strat back tested 2 years, limited to only one trade a day during New York Open, but struggling with that 2K buffer after passing an eval account. Any advice? Trade less risk. Trade smaller. What's your normal trade size? Are you doing 1 in Q? Are you doing 1 M in Q? 2 to 3 M in Q? I made $1,000 on a few accounts with 3 M and Q today. 3 M and Q. I just slept on that. I didn't even have a stop on that trade. I just went long because I knew it was going to go for that previous measured move. I didn't have a stop on that thing. I was just like, whatever. I'm just let it cook. You got to trade small enough that no individual trade even matters to you, but that if you're consistent, you make a lot of money. I'll say it again. You need to trade small enough to where no individual trade even matters to you, but to where if you trade well consistently, you'll make a good amount of money. Eventually, once you have solidified your edge, your position sizing should not be the same, but that's an experience thing. Okay, as a newbie, your number one goal is protecting your capital stack. Once you have some defined edge, right, in a system that you feel like, okay, over 30 days, you should be scaling. Adjust the risk based on stop loss. Okay. You're doing that exactly backwards. So you're adjusting the risk based on your stop loss. I keep the TP constant as close to $200 as possible. Wrong. I'm going to change your life here in a few sentences. You need to trade ideas. You are trading your P&L. Okay, you are leaving money on the table, and this is why I hate RR as a concept. Okay, when it comes to risk management. Let's suppose, for example, we're coming down here. Let's suppose that I was shorting this candle here. Okay, let's say that my replay tool will load. Come on. All right. So let's say I wanted to go short here. Okay. My stream is going really, really slow. That's not bad if day trading props. It's bad. I promise you guys it's bad. I'm telling you it's bad. You do not need to eliminate the idea of daily targets in your mind. Okay. You need to trade an idea. So let's say I go short here. And my idea, my thesis is basically that we will not break the value area high. And I think that we're going to come down to the value area low. So the profit on this trade is irrelevant. It's irrelevant. If you trade your P&L, you will continue to be plateaued and you'll be stuck and you'll get blown out of trades often that you either need to cut earlier or you'll leave a lot of money on the table. The amount of money I make on this trade is irrelevant. The only thing that I'm interested in as a trader is, will this trade idea work out? And in order for me to see if it'll work out, I need to trade as small as possible to where it works out. What a lot of you guys do is you have a trade idea like this, and then you adjust your stop based off of what you're willing to lose. Okay, from a P&L perspective. And so the trade might go and do something, and then you can see here that because of how this next candle went, Okay, it went to the value area high. I could have put my stop a little bit higher there, but the trade worked out. The thesis worked out. This is why you need a trade thesis and not your P&L. You need to trade as small as possible to test your ideas. The only thing you should be doing as a trader is testing and proving your ideas. Because what will happen is, eventually, irrelevant of the account size, you'll have enough money to, trade bigger and bigger with the same ideas. You just want to find trade ideas that work, okay? But do not adjust your TP and your stop loss based off your P&L. You're doing it backwards. You will absolutely kneecap yourself as a trader if you trade like that. The same goes on the other side, okay? This exact same trade. Let's run it back, okay? I do the trade right here. I go short, and I say, well, I have a daily target of $500. So instead of going to the POC, I'm just going to go to my target, which is, 181, 171 plus 5 is going to be 166, whatever that is, okay? I put my TP there because that's my daily target. Instead of trading my idea, which is that it's going to go all the way down to that value area low, okay? I am trading my daily target, and I'm not trading a trade idea. You're doing it wrong. You will never be able to execute asymmetric trades in particular. Futures are a linear product, okay? You make $20 per point, $10 per point, whatever it is. If you start trading options and things like that, you need to be able to trade ideas, because you eventually, as a trader, you want asymmetric returns, right? I want to figure out, assuming my idea is correct, what's the most amount of money I can make on this trade with the least amount of capital in the game. That's where options as a product makes a lot of sense. If I long puts, my downside is capped. Okay, your downside is not capped with futures unless you put a stop. Your downside is infinite. The market could go against you basically infinitely. Going long on options, the risk is very different with the different products, okay? So that's a very good question that you asked, and I really want you to think about the amount of money that you're leaving on the table by having a daily target. The other side of this that's really important, I said this earlier, is that you don't need to trade all the time, okay? The other thing that daily targets will make you do is it'll make you hunt for $200 instead of waiting for a good trade idea to present itself. You're going to try and make $200 appear on your chart instead of waiting for a good trade idea. SMK Prabhu, good morning. Mr. Jinsky, good morning. US Prakesh, good morning. That makes sense, but then how do you suggest we adjust the risk if the stop loss is big based on the idea of a trade? Trade as small as possible. You didn't, what is your normal trade size? Tell me your normal trade size. Welcome all. SKP Trades, welcome back. This risk management conversation is exactly what I was hoping to get today. Well, there you're going. I think the stream knows when Forrest is about to drop a gem. That's the exact moment the ads kick in. Let me actually make it to do. I keep forgetting to turn. I don't make any money off these ads. I got 20 people on, so I'm gonna turn those off. I really don't. I promise. I'll turn those off, guys. It's not a big deal. I probably make 4 cents a day off of ads. I've never adjusted the stream settings, so I need to change those. Risk lessons for Risky Monday. And look, guys, the reason I'm so passionate and I know I'm correct about this is I've been on every single step that you guys are taking as new traders. I've taken that step personally. Okay, I've taken it. I've thought the thoughts. I've made the mistakes. I've corrected the mistakes. I made the mistakes again. I've corrected the mistakes. Okay, I'm deep in the game, so I know how you guys are thinking. I know about all the buts. But Forrest, but what about? I've been there, done that. So that's the only reason I'm so confident and passionate about it when I share these things. Because I want you guys to get to where I got faster than I got here. By all means, okay. The mark of me being a good teacher is if I can make somebody, or hopefully more than a few people, better at this than I ever will be. That's my goal. higher time frame trading with 1 M&Q, those 100 plus point stops. Oh, it's gone. Yeah, man. The reason I trade on like the 4 hour and things like that, and it's not because there aren't trades on the lower time frames at all. That's absolutely not the case. You can scalp and make money. Okay. Scalping is just hard. It's straight up hard. And I don't want to work hard. Also, I will make more money than most scalpers. Okay. In less trades. Personally. I imagine most of you, your biggest trades are probably trades that you held on higher time frames, more so than your scalping. Okay, on the 5-minute chart, sure, I could find some. I used to trade this. You can go look at my old videos. I used to trade lower time frames. It's not a secret. The reason I trade the higher time frames is purely for money purposes. It's not some philosophical whatever. It's just like you just make more money. And, you know, I like helping people, but I also like making money from trading. Rajamani, welcome back to the best place on the internet. Well said, not work hard, work smart. Yeah, man, I've put thousands and thousands of hours into the charts, guys. Thousands of hours. I used to watch the charts 24/7, and I'm not exaggerating. All day. Obsessed. I'm still obsessed. But now I still watch the charts. I go through phases, but, you know, as a newbie, you should be watching the charts a lot. But then you need to actually apply and leverage that knowledge. You need to leverage that time. I shouldn't have to watch the charts 24/7 forever. It means I'm not learning anything. It's crazy. Oh, my chart just disappeared. What's going on? There it is. So we have a nice top wick that formed. Okay, coming back to the POC. Point of control, by the way, is what that stands for anybody who's not used to the volume profile, which is a histogram. Both all these histograms, which are just the sideways bar charts on the chart. Okay, we are transacting this auction lower. We got previous day VAL coming up here. Okay, once we traverse this node here down to 67.62, which also has confluence with this VAL, okay, that's where you can start to consider longing. It would be nice if we got a signal candle here, though, right? So we want an up candle with a bottom wick with relatively higher volume that closes. That would be our signal candle. The 4 hour that we got, though, on ES, little top wick coming off this previous measured move, okay, retested that level, and then we have a nice top wick up candle on NQ. So a bit of a divergence there with the candles. Let's make these the same color. It's probably very confusing for you guys. Okay. Up candle, 4 hour, down candle, 4 hour. Divergence. The charts are not the same. Okay, the candles are flip-flopped, which is why Mondays, again, just aren't that important of a day for me. I trade 1 RR during high volatility months like April. Stop loss TB can be high, like 20, 40 points, but currently it's on average. You're leaving a lot of money on the table. You know, I got a 100-point trade this morning. You know, I had like a 450 last week. In this market, you should be getting more than 40 points per trade. Undoubtedly. You know, check out. Definitely stick around, join our community and see how we trade. You will make a lot more money. There's nothing wrong with taking 20, 40 point trades, but you're just working harder and making less money. I promise you are. Okay. The reason we call it the VPE edges is actually in the chat, if you've been here for a while, okay, what 4 areas do we look to even execute at before we even consider taking a trade as intraday speculators, not counting swing trades? What 4 areas does the market have to get to before we even consider taking a trade? Put them in the chat. I know we've got some OGs in here. Paolo, good morning. Mahalakshmi, good morning. Prior day high, prior day low, overnight high, overnight low. Those are the 4 areas. I'll say it again. Prior day high, prior day low, overnight high, overnight low. The reason we wait for those areas to take trades, for the best trades, okay, you can do whatever you want, but for the best trades is because we know that we will have cleaned up previous participants. Okay, let me explain for those of you who are new here. and it's always worth explaining this. So if we go back to this point in time, okay, and let's say I shorted this candle. I was like, man, it's a high volume red candle. This thing's going to crater. It's going to fall off a cliff. Let's see what happens. Okay, shit. I am very red. Millions of people have done this, okay? Everyone who shorted this low and everyone who longs the high are trapped. So these are trap shorts. And what's going to happen is when the market gets back to this price, inevitably, those players who are trapped are going to be racing to get out. They're going to be market aggressing on the buy side, right? So we're going to see a bunch of market aggressors around these edges. You can look at Bookmap and these other tools and look at it for yourself. I don't watch Bookmap anymore. I've seen the behavior enough times. But when the market trades through these levels, and that's what I mean by sweeps it, when it trades through these levels, we know that we will have cleaned up all of the trapped players at least, which means from there, we're only looking at participants for over here, and we go back more into it's not true price discovery because the auction has traded in here before, but it's a different mechanic, right? If it trades through here in bottom wicks, high volume, okay, around these prices, we got a high volume. Oh my God, give me a candle. Give me an arrow. If we got a high volume bottom wick after it traded through these prices, then we know that this thing is going to rocket higher because it cleaned all these players up. Same on the other side, okay? We swept this high, okay? The market immediately came down. Unfortunately, this is an up candle and there's a divergence, so it's not a good signal candle, right? We want these candles to be the same. But that is a high volume shooting star candle, okay? So volume around these edges is very, very important, right? The direction of the candle is very, very important. The formation of these candles is very, very important. But that's what we want to look for. Any other trade, okay, is you're trading inside of the higher time frame noise, right? Which is why it's hard to get 100-point trades on the 5 and the 15, okay? And you're like in hyper analysis mode. Whereas I'm looking at like 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. every single day is where I really look to take a trade. I look at the hourly as well. So like 1 o'clock. You know, I'll see if we got a sweep at 1 and things like that. But in general, the best trades are set up on the 4-hour. And you can look across multiple tickers. If you want more trades, you know, just look across the entire market. You can find some tickers in play, whatever. But I'm telling you, you can easily get hundreds of points in just one trade in a day, trading like that versus, you know, hunting for the small stuff. I took an 1,800-point swing long, guys. Okay, we closed that one a few weeks ago, but most of you aren't even close to 1,800 points in a month. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you can't do that in props though. That's the one thing with props is you obviously can't swing trade. So I would get your own small account, put $1,000 in it, trade 1 M and Q, see what you can do. Take a risk. Thanks for sharing as well. Whew, I am hungry. What other questions you guys got for me? Bye right out at 10:30. Alrighty. So is your method more around swing trading then? No. I day trade. I'm just saying I day trade slower than most people. Again, guys, go look at my story on Instagram. I'm up 100 points today. You know what I mean? That's what I'm trying to convey to you guys. I took a day trade today. I closed it at 8 a.m. And some of you guys just won't even get close to that because you're trading on the lower time frames. You're missing the big picture. Okay, your goal every day as a day trader should be to try to catch. I like the way that Lance describes it, the right side of the V. Okay, every day you should be trying to figure out, can I long the daily low or can I short the daily high? We're in an uptrend. So you should be extremely long biased. If your goal every day in an uptrend as a day trader, not as a swing trader, as a day trader is, can I long today's low? And that, no matter what system you use, if your only goal every single day in an uptrend is, I'm going to long today's low, all the analysis that I do is going to be around trying to find today's low. You will make more money than most people, I promise you. Because in an uptrend, you don't need a big stop. You can just let your trade run, because your thesis in an uptrend is that this shit's going to keep going. Okay, now on a smaller account, you have to manage drawdown. If you're in like a prop account with trailing, you got to manage that bullshit. But in general, that should be your plan. You should not be short. I talked to somebody, man. I was on a stream. They're like, yeah, I just make more money on the short side. What are you talking about? Look at the market, bro. Being short biased in this, I mean, you're just objectively stupid. I was an objectively stupid person. And it's like, yeah, we can, I was playing nice in the conversation, but it's just like, that's just stupid. Like, what are you talking about? This is an 8,000 point upside. Go long. Okay? Forget the system, forget ICT, forget whatever system you're in. Why aren't you just going long? I'm definitely going on a tangent here, but the way some of y'all think, it just like, it baffles me. And then you can't disconnect your thinking from your outcomes and poor performance. You're like, no, my logic's correct. I am struggling as a trader though, but I'm definitely right. It's like, okay. All right, brother. Do I use low value nodes? Yeah. So what's key to my system, let's actually zoom out here. And let's go to the weekly chart on NQ. And let's look at, whoa, this looks crazy. Let's look at the visible range. Oh my God, why does it do this? My mouse is just pissing me off. This keeps minimizing my chart. Let's get rid of the session VP. All right, so the volume profile shows us how many people have participated at a set of prices. In this macro trend here, we can see that there's a large auction here. The market came, it traversed this node, and this is where it found support. In the low value areas, all we're saying, and there's still a lot of participation here, there's just less than here. But in a low value node, in a low value area, that just means there are less participants there. And the easiest way to reason about this in your head is to make a very simple real life example. Okay, I always use the Honda Civic or Toyota Corolla examples. If I'm a car dealer and I want to sell 100 cars into the market, and I know that most people are buying Corollas, most people are buying Corollas at this price, it's going to be hard to sell Corollas at other prices. That's what a low value area is. The low value area is the other prices. It doesn't matter if it's higher or lower, and it goes both ways, buy side, sell side, okay? People are trying to aggress into the market. They're trying to offload or obtain whatever it is, okay? It could be shares, blah, blah, whatever the heck it is. They're trying to get in or out of the market as quickly as possible, and those aggressors are competing. The size of the competition, not buyers versus sellers, but the magnitude of the competition on the buy side, okay, versus the magnitude of the competition on the sell side determines which way the market goes, okay? So it's not buyers competing against sellers necessarily. It's more so buyers competing against buyers and sellers competing against sellers, because that's what happens. Okay, if I'm selling a car, I'm not competing against my buyers. I'm competing against the other car dealers. Okay, I'll say that again. If I'm a car dealer and I'm selling cars, I'm not competing against Joe Smith. Joe Smith has a very small amount of negotiating power as an individual. I am competing against the guy who owns a dealer across the street who's going to try and undercut me to attract Joe Smith and all the other dealers. Same on the buy side. When I go to acquire inventory, okay, I'm competing against the people on the same side of the market, not the other side of the market. Okay, individual participation is irrelevant. What we want to look at is the aggregate. Okay, the volume profile tells us where people are in the aggregate, and in the aggregate, people will have to make decisions around their basis. They have to. This is a really key point. People have to make decisions around their basis in the market. If I have 1 million shares of Apple, let's go look at Apple real quick. Oh, wow, look at that. Look at that shape. That's interesting. This is also plays into why we can ignore market news for the most part, okay? If I have 1 million shares of Apple down here, I don't care what Donald Trump says. I don't care what Tim Cook says. I don't care what my neighbors say. I'm green. Okay, we could launch, the moon could explode. I don't care if the moon is exploding until the market comes back to my basis. Once the market comes back to my basis, I have to do something. Okay? This is how trading fundamentally works. It's a double-sided auction where people are trying to make money and they have to make decisions around their basis, and they're going to make decisions when they are exceptionally greedy. Apple is coming back up to its previous high. Everyone is aware of that. Okay, the people here who are trapped buyers, okay, who have been red this entire time, are now going to become sell-side aggressors. Okay, trying to get out. So we're gonna see some stuff here as we cross this high. I will say in the equities though, whenever you put in a new high on equities, it tends to run. It doesn't sweep like intraday, like in rangy price action. When you put in a new high in an equity, it tends to run a little bit. Okay, so we'll see that. A little Apple analysis for you. Does that make sense, guys? I know I said a lot. I'm boiling down years of experience into a 2-minute rant, but rewind the stream, watch it back. I've seen how you calculate measured moves, but it might be useful for everyone else. Sure. I'll show you guys how, for example, I was able to calculate this move on ES. So exactly, okay? What time is it? Got to get off soon. So we went right to this target on ES that I calculated. I can't remember what time frame I did this on. Let's just get rid of all these lines. Don't even need it. I probably did this. Where was the market when I calculated this move? Did I do it on the weekly? Let's see. I have to go back and look at my stream. Okay. I think I remember. So let's say that we were, I don't know, back here. The way that I do measured moves is, I have a video on this. If you join the Discord, we have a video, is I find the first, whenever we have a leg in the market, okay, an unbroken candle like this, very small wicks, I go to the previous candle, that wick, and then I go to the top of the shape. And then I just hit Control-C, Control-V, and then I put the bottom of my measuring tool at the bottom of the shape. And if we play the market forward, basically my target would be at the top here. Okay, that's 6,700 would be the level, okay? Now, we cracked that, went a little bit higher. And I do this on every time frame. So obviously the one that I had was pretty exact. You'll have to go and look at my streams to see when I measured it and what time frame I measured it on. Doesn't really matter, but it gives you a very specific price that you can trade into. Can I undo all of these things? Or is it not going to let me go that far back? It won't. All right, well, fair enough. So let's do one on let's go to the 1 hour and see if we can do a proper projection here again. I'll redraw my lines. You should never really be worried about deleting your levels, by the way, guys. If you're married to a level, then you really just don't trust your own analysis. So we have this nice little uptrend here. You can see that we came down there. This was the downside target, I believe. Okay, very obvious shelf here. Okay, this auction, let's call this downside. Let's add our session VP here. So because I trade on like the intermediary time frames, so 1 hour to 4 hour, I'm totally fine. When I talk about downside targets, there's the 4 levels that we care about every day, which is the prior day high, prior day low, overnight high, overnight low. So those are always the same. I don't even have to put those on the chart. What I'm really looking at are the big moves. When I plot levels on my chart, I'm not necessarily just worried about today. I'm more so looking for this week. What are the best day trades this week is really what I'm looking for. A retest of this liquidity block is going to give us a great day trade this week. Okay. There's also prior day low, which is right here. Okay. I can mark that again. Doesn't really matter. Put it there. Okay. Prior day low, overnight low already got cleaned up. Prior day high is up here. Okay. Put that there. Whoops. Let's do option J. Okay. Prior day low, prior day high. And my projection for higher, unfortunately, because we have this weird divergence, we can't really do one yet, honestly. I need a clean wave in the market in order to do that. So let's look at what we have on NQ. There's a lot of lines here. That's fine. These are just all the same color. So prior day low, and overnight high are whatever they are. Typically, I wouldn't plot those, but they're nice for you guys to visualize. The measure move target higher on NQ is the same, 25,335, and then our macro move higher from the measurement we did on the monthly is 26,571. Okay. So we'll leave that there for now. We do have this trend line on NQ as well. Boom. What constitutes a good day trading setup for you? So I trade the VPE, volume profile edges. I need to do a link to... Actually, if you go to the link in on the bottom of my stream, stan.store/trading with Forrest, there is an overview to my entire system there. There's a link to a journal, and it has all of my setups. As my 2 playbook setups in there, as well as a free template for a journal. All of that is in there. But the VPE is around trading the volume profile edges, so it's about trading around these nodes and then looking for signal candles at the edges. We get a signal candle at an edge. Those are those A trades that'll give you hundreds of points. And I do mean hundreds of points in a trade, right? So that's a relatively higher volume shooting star, doji candle, or hammer candle in the direction of the trade. Okay, those are the best trades. But yeah, that link is there. I'll set up some automations to put those in the chat as well. But yeah, all my stuff is on my channel and it's everywhere. Also, join the Discord, guys. We have a trading resources that has a bunch of videos. Everything is laid out so you can watch them on your own time. I'd love to have you guys all there. It's wap.com/tradeedge. The link is in my Stan Store link as well. There is a free chat. You don't have to pay. There is a trading floor that's premium for people who want to be serious and not waste my time. But I love teaching people. Nonetheless, I got to run. My name's Forrest. I invest stuff. You should too. I love day trading. And I will see you guys on Wednesday for the next stream.